Vacation. Finally, peace of mind and the easiness of life up here at the sea in Denmark. But before this, there were 1,503 kilometers to drive. And with that, hello friends of the Electrified Charging Fun, and welcome to Speicher Elektrisiert, Electrified Speicher, your channel all around Skoda's e-mobility. My name is Matthias, and on this video we talk about these 1,503 kilometers of driving up here. What was the consumption? How often did we charge? What did we pay for charging? How much energy did we need? Everything all around these 1,503 kilometers we drove is the content of this video. And if this is of interest for you, then you should watch this video. Don't forget to subscribe and then have fun. Let's have a quick look at the route we are taking today. But first we head over to the data. The driving data, as you can see here, the long-term value, this is at current. I will reset it right now so that I have the complete value of the journey later on. If we take a quick look at the route, you might say, well, this is not Denmark. You're only driving half the way up in Germany. That is correct, because we are on vacation and we're taking vacation serious. This means we are only driving this first part of the complete journey up to Denmark to be more relaxed. And this is just enough for today. And just for driving, so you can see I only plan with Ionity chargers because I bought the Ionity Pass. That's why there is only one Ionity to charge up within our route, because I guess this might be the best option for driving to Denmark and having the cheapest charging experience currently possible. And now we are heading on and driving on the road. Time for the first stopover. We still got 24% SOC and 110 kilometers of range, but look at those values here. We drove 3 hours and 15 minutes. We are under 18 kilowatt hours, 100 kilometers when it comes to consumption. And our average speed was 102 kilometers an hour, now dropped to 100 due to filming. Basically, we could have gone even one Ionity charger further on, but we had to do now. We have to do the break right now because I have really the necessity to go to the toilet. The dog wants a walk and I want something to eat. And it's no problem. Due to our driving here and due to the temperatures outside, we've got a 151 kilowatt charging capability. So I will plug in now. Basically, what should I say? Just plugged in up to 170 kilowatts, now charging with 169 kilowatts at an SOC of 25% when plugged in, now at 27%. What else do you want? Now it's really time for the break. Let me tell you something. 83%, over 51 kilowatt hours charged in 26 minutes only. It's pure stress if you're on vacation, to be honest, because we just even ate a bit, went to the toilet, let the dog out for a walk, and we are overcharged right now. I'll set it up to 90% because I expected that. I expected that to be happen, that we will charge more than we need to, simply because it's not enough time for a real break. Our next break, I simply had to stop because we had some traffic jam. I'm really tired right now. And as you can see, we are already charging again with maximum power at over 170 kilowatts, starting with an SOC of 27%. Well, let's look at the other stats from driving. Right here you can see our average speed dropped below 100 kilometers an hour due to the traffic jam. We are nearly 6 hours on the road right now. Average consumption 18.2 kilowatts due to the mountain areas here, or the hill areas around Kassel, but basically these are still good values for our driving. The Ionity station here, 8 stalls, all occupied. And if you look over there, the Tesla stalls, which would also be an option to charge, there's nearly everything available. So plenty of charging opportunities here. Our dog is running over there on the lawn, having some fun, and is a bit of relaxing. We are charging up right now, even though if we did even though we did not have to do this, there was plenty enough of energy left to drive completely to our first destination. We have reached our first destination where we will do a sleepover. And my wife said it's near to the autobahn, near to the highway. We don't have to drive too much. Well, let me zoom out a bit. The highway is over there. So basically we're 50 kilometers away from the highway out in, I don't know where we are, but I don't care. I am just happy that we now have a sleepover, that this day is done. It's nearly 6 p.m. So basically we are on the road for 8 hours and I'm getting tired. I have no clue how I did it when I was younger to drive 1,200, 1,300 kilometers in one piece. Simply, I don't know. Let's look at some stats here. Basically, you see, we still have 63% SOC, still a good range. I cannot charge here, but I don't care. And this is data. And yes, we drove 660 kilometers in around 7 hours. Average consumption, 17.8 kilowatt hours, 100 kilometers is a real good value. Yes, average speed, 93 kilometers an hour. And you would expect more on the German highway. But we drove so many traffic jams. We were so often hit by 80 on the route due to some construction work. And it was simply not possible to get a higher value there. For me, this is perfectly fine. That's a good result for the first day. I'm happy to have a walk with the dog right now, get some sleep, get some rest, and then we're seeing each other next morning. Good morning. It's our second day on our way to northern Denmark. The coffee is already here in the Skoda, but again, we do not drive all the way up now. We make a second stopover at the border to Denmark, between Germany and Denmark, in Baltic at the Eastern Sea. And there you can see where we are heading. We're on the way to our next charging stop. I have replanted it to Ionity Lüneburger Heide because this is easy to reach and it's an Ionity again. And we are about 120 kilometers away from it. And since it was very cold at our sleepover last night, the battery does not have optimal temperature for charging. And since I've activated the automatic preheating when reaching the charger, it will be at an optimal temperature to charge. And I'll show you right now here. Let's head to the charging menu, and there under optimize you see it. Current rapid charging capability is just 94 kilowatts. Besides, we have 45% SOC. But down here you see the optimize rapid charging function is activated for the next charging stop over. And it will be heated up within the next 16 minutes to an optimal value of 117 kilowatts. And basically this means we just have an hour to drive to reach the charger. We will be at an optimal charging temperature and thus get a real good charging experience, although when we hit Ionity Lüneburger Heide we will be again at 20 or 25% SOC. The next charging stop. We are already 2 hours on our route, as you can see, at 200 kilometers, and it's simply not possible getting over 100 kilometers an hour on the German highway. Too many traffic, too many construction sites, and too many speed limits. Consumption around 18 kilowatt hours, 100 kilometers, and the battery is in perfect condition again, 14% SOC, and as you can see, although it's in German, we have reached the optimal charging capability. Of course, I have plugged in my car scanner and the OBD adapter to see how good the charging will commence. Fast charging experience as it should be. 170 kilowatts of power at 20%, already up from 14% here at Ionity, and Ionity delivers. 4 spots you can choose freely here. We are the only one charging at this, and this is how electromobility should be. Easy and fun. And Honestly, I have to say Ionity was very reliable on my trip here. Of course, it's not always that convenient that with my tariff, with the Ionity passport, you have to choose Ionity. In between are a lot of other CPOs and other chargers, but I don't have that much discount on their charging tariff. So you need to plan around this and pick Ionity chargers. And that could also mean that you hit the charger with 20, 25 or even 30% SOC to charge a bit cheaper. What you see over there would be our hotel, but we can't reach it because in front of us the firefighters have a practice, a training, or something happened, we don't know. We can't drive there, and that means I can't go to my charger there either, because I had planned to charge there overnight and didn't charge up at an Ionity. So basically we're here with 26% SOC. Here are the stats from the next part of our journey: 4.5 hours, 18 kilowatt hours, 100 kilometers, and still not over 100 kilometers an hour, simply because not possible. And now we have a walk with our dog, and maybe they'll finish work in the evening so we can reach the hotel. Good morning on the third day of our journey. Sometimes if you do a navigation and a charge planning, you do not get the chargers you want. As you see here, I have set the filter to Ionity, and instead of an Ionity, I got a Tesla supercharger right here. And maybe in case you want to know, it's easy to switch them. You just tap on them, tap other chargers, and then you'll get all the other chargers here. Basically, maybe we could even reach this Ionity up there, but it's a bit of a gamble to reach there, so I would not opt in for that. I would search rather low down here, and let's go there again because I tapped on a station, and I would search down here. And as you can see, there is also an Ionity station, and I will choose this one. So I'll add it, and as you can see, now I've got the Ionity in here. And if I only have the Ionity filter, well, then at least the car should stick to that. Our first charging stop in Denmark, and it is raining. As you can see, here's a big charging park with several operators. We are here at the Ionity, no roof as always with most Ionities, so basically we are in the rain out there and having fun. And now I show you something interesting. Look at the consumption stats here, and you can see 24 kilowatt hours, 100 kilometers, and only 48 kilometers an hour at average speed. This is high, and this is due to the battery preconditioning I did to have a good charging experience here. And as you already saw, can show you in the app again, we are at peak and charging peak, and this is because it's very cold outside and the battery really needs time to heat up, and thus needs energy to heat up, and therefore that high consumption. But I prefer charging speed over efficiency in this case, and so we are just charging a couple of minutes and already are up to 32%. We are charging again the next Ionity, and to be honest, it is raining the whole day. Really heavy, and it is too much asked from Ionity, I guess, to have a roof above the charging station. You get really wet if you plug in here, and I would really love to see Ionity putting roofs over their chargers, but well, it seems to be asked too much. Let's look at the stats. As you can see, plugged in already up to 25% from 19, and we're charging already with a top speed. Here, let's look at the driving stats, and there you see, due to the heavy rain and winds here, our consumption really got high to over 21.3 kilowatt hours, 100 kilometers, at only 82 kilometers average speed an hour. Basically, that's what you ask for, right? If you go on vacation, heavy rain and bad weather. And then you arrive at your destination. We are at our vacation home here in northern Denmark. As you can see here on the map, I'll show you right now. We are all the way up in Denmark right here. And now let's look at some stats. Basically, we've got 46% SOC left in our battery from the last charging stop, which is not a problem at all, because we have a vacation home with a charger right there on the wall. Here you have it. This was our last turn. We drove 408 kilometers over 5 hours, yes, and with a very low average speed, a lot of 80 kilometers on the Danish autobahn, on the Danish highway, and a real high consumption due to heavy rain and winds, and you directly see it here. Now let's look at the complete journey. 1,503 kilometers driven in 17 hours and 10 minutes with an average speed of 88 kilometers an hour and an average consumption way below 19 kilowatt hours, so 18.8 kilowatt hours 100 kilometers. And for me, these are really good values. Beautiful scenery, isn't it? Here at the Danish coast with the Baltic Sea in the background. But before we could enjoy this, we had to drive 1,503 kilometers. And let's sum this travel here to our holiday destination up. Well, 1,503 kilometers with 2 overnight stays. One was in the Harz, so a mountain area in Germany, in Lower Saxony, and the other was at Flensburg at the Baltic Sea, where we just slept overnight, but we have to drive over country roads there, so this adds to the driving distance and also this lowers the average speed. And we needed 17 hours and 13 minutes of travel time at an average speed of 88 kilometers an hour. Yes, you heard that right. It was not higher due to traffic on the road, due to road and construction works, and due to speed limitations we had along the road. And there was plenty of all of those. And where we could, we drove 130 in Germany, so not faster, sometimes 140 or 160, but basically this is it. And then you'll need to add to this 5 charging stops. And they lasted 2 hours and 14 minutes. And so the complete travel time without the overnight stays are 19 hours and 30 minutes. And we did 5 stops instead of 4, planned were 4, due to the fact that we drove with the Ionity power tariff. I chose the subscription from Ionity because it was the cheapest way to get fast charging in Germany and in Denmark. And this also leads to those 5 charging stops, because Ionities are plenty along the road, basically every 100 kilometers, but they are not in the rhythm you are driving. So that's why we sometimes hit with 25% at a charger to get an Ionity and not another provider. We needed 18.8 kilowatt hours 100 kilometers average consumption. And this is quite a good value, I would assume. And basically we've recharged 255 kilowatt hours along the road, but we started with 100% charge, so we have to add 75, 77 kilowatt hours on this. But we also reached our destination with 46% of SOC, so basically you can deduct half of it again. So let's say 300 kilowatt hours is a fair value of energy consumption we needed from Switzerland up here to the Danish coast. And the fully recharge along the way at Ionity is 90 euros and 10 cents. Then you'll need to add 100% of the charge from home, so that's 10 euros again on top of it, so we are at 100 euros. Then you need to add the subscription fee of the Ionity Power subscription, that's 8 euros, so basically 110 euros for the complete travel. Now let's do the comparison with a diesel car, and I'll take the new Skoda ENYAQ for this. And due to a German automotive magazine, Automotorsport, with their test drive they needed 7.9 liters of diesel. Basically I know that you can drive this car lower and stuff like that, but that's the value I have, so I'll take it. And if you have this consumption, you would need 118 liters of diesel to do the same drive with a ENYAQ. Or if you say a liter of diesel is 9.8 kilowatt hours, the ENYAQ would need 1,156 kilowatt hours compared to the 300 of the ENYAQ. And if you look at the costs for this, 118 liters of diesel, when you are off-road, so you are not refueling along the highway, which is more cost intensive, you would end up with €1.60 for a little diesel, so basically 188 euros. But who does this? Normally you would refuel along the highway, and there it is more expensive, and then you would be at 218, 220 euros. And so I was quite happy with the result I got with the ENYAQ. And if this road trip shows one thing, then it is how easy it is to drive electric on long distance trips, to drive electric into your holidays in the year 2024. Do a comparison 10 years before, 2014, if you already knew about e-mobility in 2014 and how difficult it was back then compared to today. So basically, with your Skoda ENYAQ in the year 2024, it is as easy as it gets. What about you? Write me in the comments all your experience, all what you did on long distance traveling, or if you have any questions, if I could help you with something, so you might also consider to switch over to this new way of driving. And if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of this beautiful scenery and travel report, no, I'm just kidding. If you want to know more about the Skoda ENYAQ and Skoda's e-mobility, then hit that subscribe button so that we can see each other in the next video. And until then, stay full of energy.